how not drinking Coca Cola can help immigrants and racists. Coca Cola is a monolithic corporate behemoth of disturbing dimensions and reach. When it's not hoovering up competitors and making them part of the corporate Borg, it's changing cultural icons almost beyond recognition. Santa Claus used to be dressed in green velvety robes with a pagan-type laurel wreath on his head, more of an ancient Sylvian wizard. Now he is caparisoned in blood-red corporate robes. This is all thanks to Coca-Cola. However, what is more disturbing is the power Coca-Cola has over nations and the economic and political lives of their peoples. Cola syrup, which is used in the production of Coca-Cola, used to be made from the cola nut, which is mostly found in West Africa. Later, scientists found a way of producing the syrup chemically, thus removing the need of farming the nut. However, cola syrup is still one of the most valuable commodities in the world. The average person only hears about gold, silver and oil. But believe you me, cola syrup is up there, so much so that even Somali pirates trade in it. Coca-Cola is also the world's largest buyer of sugar. This in turn fuels the child kidnapping rings in West Africa, where children are kidnapped and forced to work in sugarcane fields. Human Rights Watch says, sugarcane is the most hazardous of all forms of agricultural work. Coca-Cola has a massive concentrate plant in Swaziland, under one of its subsidiaries named Conco. Conco buys all of Swaziland's sugar production, which makes up a staggering 40% of its GDP. Coca-Cola is on very good terms with King Mswati III, Swaziland's absolute monarch. King Mswati controls all publicly owned land. This causes farmers to be ejected, their livelihoods destroyed, thus turning them into economic migrants. In Nairobi, Kenya, a Coca-Cola bottling plant in Embakasi discharges black effluent into the open rivers. Assessment of the water quality in the Asa River in Nigeria has found it so polluted that the fish population is dwindling and the water increasingly becoming unpotable. Rivers such as the Asa River in Nigeria are lifelines for poverty-stricken people, not just providing drinking water, but much needed sources of protein. There are numerous cases of rivers being polluted by Coca-Cola, thus making the water undrinkable. This for the local inhabitants is devastating. Moreover, Coca-Cola then sells the people cola drinks in place of the water. These drinks are sold at extremely inflated prices. Are widespread in Africa and the third world as a whole. If the indigenous population of somewhere can't afford to feed themselves, or even worse, find potable water, then their only option for survival is to move. Move in order to find employment to feed themselves and their families. Their nations offering very little in terms of employment due to crippling World Bank debt, the payment of which is secured through the production of cash crops, such as sugar, on behalf of giant megacorporations such as Coca-Cola. Thus the movement of people to wealthier lands is inevitable, making their way to Morocco, which is the major jumping point for immigrants from Africa and the Middle East into Europe. These immigrants usually find their way onto crowded vessels whose seaworthiness is extremely suspect. People don't risk this for state benefits. If anything, they are escaping a type of hell on earth.
This was dramatic and tragic in every way. There were so many children among the victims, horrible. They had new shoes, signs of hope. It really is devastating.
These waves of foreigners into the wealthier nations of Europe make the indigenous populations nervous and angry. This anger and nervousness, or fear, is exploited by politicians and used as a political hot potato. And this, unfortunately, gives rise to these chaps. Xenophobia is as old as humans themselves, as is its exploitation for nefarious ends. So why not circumvent the need for immigrants from the third world to risk life and limb, and at the same time giving bigots less to complain about? You can do this by not drinking Coca-Cola. Then no one will need a Coke to smile.